So today's topic, 7 mistakes to avoid to keep your hard-earned money safe. Now, I've seen so many stories, and you probably know someone who has lost a lot of money, lost their identity stolen, all kinds of stuff like that, right? So I'm just going to run through some of these things that I have learned on the job and from professional technicians who have to recover this stuff for people. It's not a happy topic at all. There's a lot of scammy people out there, and you got to watch it. You got to be vigilant, and believe me, don't feel bad if you fall for one of them, because we all do. Even people who are professional, cybersecurity people, they fall for it, because what happens is you're distracted and you click something, whoops, without thinking, right? Or you're distracted because you're busy. Everybody's busy. So that happens too. And they are really good. They've learned how to manipulate. They've learned all the psychology and the marketing. And I'm a marketer. I love all of that stuff. And you can use those kinds of tools for good, or there are people who use them for not so good, nefarious purposes. So, number one, I just said it, is watching for suspicious links, or even ones that come over text, right? They come over email, they come over text, they come over Messenger, they show up in ads. Believe it or not, I think it's kind of crazy, but marketers that are out here trying to do good have their Facebook ads account shut down, Twitter ad or X ads shut down, stuff like that, or their whole accounts shut down. And we're trying to teach you, trying to help you stay safe out there, stay safe out there. And then I find ads from these nefarious people. And I don't know if that's the right word, but they're not nice people. And they run those ads and people click them because they look legit until you get in, you give them your information. I'll just give you an example. Not too long ago, we were actually, like, oh, we love Duluth Trading Company's clothes, and they're not cheap. They're kind of expensive, but they're really nice clothes. And they last a long time, right? That's why we like them, because they're tough. We like to be outdoors and do all the stuff out there, and we don't like our clothes to be ruined. We like them to be strong and tough. But anyway, they're expensive. But there was an ad on Facebook from Duluth Trading. But if you looked close, the website looked very legit. It looked exactly like Duluth Trading's website. However, it was just slightly different. It was like DuluthTradingSales.com or something like that. And without being diligent, without being vigilant, without looking at the link, URL, your address in the address bar, you wouldn't notice. And you're just looking at the prices and you're like, wow, this is a great sale. And this is like 60% off of these clothes. It's just an awesome sale. And they have their legit prices marked down in red. And you're like, wow. But because I work where I work and because I've seen what I've seen, I looked at I was like, this just can't be for real. Why would they have everything on their website at that much of a discount? So what I did is I picked up the phone and I called, because I'm on their list. So I called Duluth Trading, and sure enough, they said, yeah, we keep reporting them and their websites keep popping up. But thank you for calling. They were glad that we told them. It was not legit. What happens is they take your credit card information, or they just take your information, period, because then they have your login, right? Because you're going to log into this fake website. And then guess what? If you use the same password on other websites, let's say you're banking or someplace else important, they look at where you live. They say, oh, it's likely that they bank at any of these banks, and they'll try the password all over those places and get in. So there's that. And then, of course, some of them will just steal your credit card. So you'll end up with different charges on there. And some of them just run off with your money and you never get the product. So watch those links. Don't click links at all, actually. I know it's super inconvenient when you get a text saying, oh, there's a sale, and you're on their text list, right? Because I'm on text list. I get sale notifications right here. This one says, It Cosmetics, 30% off, sale wide, ends today. Now, I would click the link, right? Because I'm on their list. But the safe thing to do is to go to your browser and type in itcosmetics.com, check out the sale there, and log in rather than clicking the link, because you can't tell if it's a suspicious link or not, because in these texts, and I know as a marketer, I would want you to click the link because I want to be able to track, click-through rates and all that kind of stuff on there. But guys, it's the real world we live in. So you got to watch out. So here's I'm only on number 1. That was clicking suspicious links. We could go forever on this stuff. Number 2 is accepting connections on social media with suspicious profiles, or worse, engaging in conversation with them. So just had one today. I'm friends with a lot of marketers, and you know what? I have a big friends list. So it's really hard to spot these. But it just so happened I had just had a recent conversation with this woman, and she popped up on my friend request list, and I was like, I'm already friends with her. So I went over to her profile and I looked, and sure enough, we're still friends. So I messaged her and I sent her a link to this profile, and I said, hey, just making sure, I'm going to report this profile because I don't think it's you. And sure enough, she said, yep, it's another copy of me. That's what they do. They will take, and it looks exactly the same, right? Because they take all the pictures off of those profiles and make fake accounts. The reason why they do that is to get after your friends. So they will friend you, and then they will get after all of your friends, messaging them or whatever. Or sometimes they'll just message you, which I've had that happen before. Also, I actually had a conversation with them because I thought it was her. It was a fake Instagram account. And I'm like, boy, it just doesn't sound like her. You can tell. You get this feeling like this just doesn't feel right. Something's wrong. But the ultimate was when she asked me for my Cash App account or whatever. I don't have a Cash App account. And number 1, and number 2, I don't think she'd be asking me for it. Why? No. So that was the big clue. But you got to watch out for those kinds of things. Don't converse with them. Don't friend them, but just block and report those profiles. Actually, if you report them, they're automatically blocked anyway. But do so on TikTok. And you know what? Sometimes you can't keep up with them because they keep popping up, especially on the really popular ones, the really celebrities and that kind of stuff. So you got to watch out for that. So number 3, so that's number 2 is accepting those connections. Number 3 is falling for phishing scams. And this, I should have made this number 1 because it's the one that most people fall for. And we talk about it at my workplace every week almost. We talk about different topics, but I don't know how many times a year we talk about phishing, because phishing, P-I-S-H-I-N-G, not F-I-S-H. I love phishing. But that kind of phishing is they're trying to get information from you. So the most popular ones are emails, and they pretend to be somebody they're not. Or in texts. We talked about this on number 1 too. They're fake texts also. So you watch out for those. I'll just give you an example of one that I know of where this young person who had just gotten hired was actually looking for tasks to do, and she wanted to really, really please her employers. So when she got an email from a boss, she opened it and followed the instructions. Well, it was a scam. Now she's out $1,000 because of gift cards or whatever. It sounds silly, but again, everyone falls for these things. Everyone does, because of some situation, of something where the scammer caught you off guard or tricked you in some way. By all means, a company that you work for should have some kind of cybersecurity training in place. There should be some kind of phishing training. And if you need information on that, throw me a line or drop the word phishing, and I will get you in touch with a company I work for if you're a fit. They don't take all kinds of clients. If it's something else, you could go to knowbefore.com. It's KNOW. I think it's BE, the number 4, something like that. If you Google it, you'll find it. They have some phishing training that you can use. So there's that. And then, you know what? Drop the word scam if you want any of my training, because I did put together a quickie little course just for my home business owner clients who I help with their websites and stuff like that. So I do have that. So phishing scams, don't fall for them. How do you not fall for them? If you take any of the training, they will show you how to look in the email subject line for typos, how to look in the email address for just little things that are a little off. Let's say somebody's pretending to be me and it's an email address at learnwithginny.com, for example. But maybe it's just learnwithginny with a dot, maybe a s.com, or maybe learnwithginny and the I is on number 1 or something like that. Something a little bit tricky that you don't quite catch if you're not looking, right? So they do that. They copy websites and they're very sneaky. The Amazon ones, for example, they actually steal the logos and it looks legit. It says, here's your tracking information. And let's just say, coincidence, I just ordered something the other day. That must be my tracking information. Don't click the link. Go to Amazon.com, log in, go look at your orders. I know that's like 3 extra steps, but it's better to be safe than sorry, like your grandma said, right? So that's falling for phishing scams. Number 4, not using proper passwords or using the same passwords everywhere. So drop the word password if you need a password keeper, because I actually have a deal. I think it's 40% off, but I'll send you that information. So I think I go over that in that course too. So if you drop the word scam, I will drop you that course, whatever, it's free. Anyway, don't use the same password anywhere. Use unique passwords everywhere. That's why it's handy to have a password keeper of some kind of storage where your passwords are safe, where you have a master password that's different and totally encrypted with multi-factor authentication. So what's multi-factor authentication? It's a pain in the butt, right? It is, but it's necessary. So what it is you download an authentication app or you have a text sent to yourself. But be careful of those two, because if somebody did hack you and they sent you an authentication code and you're like, oh yeah, that was me, and you tap yes when it wasn't you, you just let a scammer in. So just be careful. Make sure that you requested it. So there's that. I think that's why using an authenticator app is probably the best way. Mine, I actually have 3-factor, right? Because not only is there the password, but then the next line of defense is the app. And the last line of defense is my fingerprint. So I have to put my fingerprint in. So that was a number 4, not using. And then number 5 is part of it, not using MFA, which is multi-factor authentication. So the most secure, I think, I'd have to ask a technician for sure, but I think the most secure is using actual authenticator devices of some kind, like USB things. They're USB keys or something. I don't know. I don't use them. Obviously, I just have this line of defense, which is the authenticator app. That's number 5. Number 6 is opening attachments. So if you get attachments, oh my gosh, especially fake invoices, stuff like that, don't open them. My workplace, I do get invoices and stuff like that in my email, but don't open them. Go to the website, log in, and find the invoice that way. It'll be there. Or they'll send you a paper invoice, right? So there's that. Don't open attachments unless you're sure that's a safe attachment. Let's say my daughter is sending me a picture and I know it's from her because I'm standing right next to her and she's sending it to me. There you go. That would be okay, but don't open attachments. Number 7 is connecting to public Wi-Fi without any kind of protection. The best way to use the internet when you're traveling is to use just your regular cell phone LTE connection without connecting to the public Wi-Fi. If you have to, don't use a VPN or don't use this laptop that might have banking information or something on it. Don't do that, right? I don't keep stuff on my laptop as general security. You probably shouldn't. If you work for a company, you might want your laptops and mobile devices to be encrypted and have that special software on it so that if something happens, they can actually erase it if it's lost or stolen. So that was it. The 7 mistakes to avoid. And bonus tip is get educated and be vigilant. So take that free course. Just drop the word scam and I'll send it to you, or go find another free course that you can learn how to stay vigilant and keep your stuff safe. It's hard to stay vigilant. So don't beat yourself up if something happens. Guess what? It's not your health, it's not your family, it's just money, and it's just digital data out there. So I know it's important, and I know that it feels like it could ruin your life, but that's what it is, right? So then there are and report these things to there's a government website. I'd have to look it up. I'll drop it later in the comments. If you really want to know, drop a comment and I'll answer the question. So that is 7 mistakes to avoid to keep your hard-earned money safe.